many times is sorrow. And we try to find places where we don't feel that sorrow, where we can coalesce and do community and go to these colleges and find a place where there's not sorrow. Yes, there's a lot of sorrow and there's a lot of pain here. So if you are that brave to come into space and poke at that pain, I want you to be prepared for what's going to come after that.
I'm brother. I'm engaging you in this conversation. So, are you saying that in every historical black college, every black home that we go, everywhere that someone who is not of our culture and everything, we have to consider the sorrow and the pain that the other demographics of people haven't yet overcome and dealing with. That's what you're saying.
Well, that's not a unique function to Black America or America at all. That is that's pervasive all around the world. You're not going to go to
Okay.
Kosovo. Well, listen to me. You're not going to go to Bosnia or Kosovo and speak about their pain that was inflicted by the Serbs. You're not going to do that. You're not going to go to South Africa and speak about the pain that was inflicted on them with the apartheid. You're not going to do that. So yes, we have First Amendment, unlike others, but there's still pain here. You're not going to go to a rape victim and tell her how to dress. So yeah, we want to allow these people, but I think this is kind of like uh, it's coddling. You're coddling people who don't have good intentions. There are platforms and spaces where they could go. Even here, I'm prepared to talk to them young men. Right, you can go to places where people have, they have, a little bit more of room for engagement. You're going into a space with a lot of young, uh, underdeveloped young kids, and they don't have the range or the temperament for that. They come from pain, bro. So yeah, like
Now one thing you just said there, JV, that's where I have a problem with Charlie Kirk. See, I believe
mhm.
Charlie Kirk he was a 31-year-old grown man going on a college campus talking to children and engaging them in conversations where without any adults or elders being able to engage them and I listened to multiple of those, and that's one of the primary reasons I feel that he was wrong. Okay, so I give you that one. Okay, he was definitely out of bound there. But I'm gonna go ahead and go to the hands. I can engage that a little bit more. I just want you to
But
be aware.
our reaction is the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Our
that's
reaction
that's
is the problem. Now, I
that's
didn't want to
that's
go
what
there yet, Joe.
we
yeah, but
show
that's
we
like
show.
saying, black violence. Like you can, those kids can talk to me. Like you can't saddle my identity by how those kids react. Those kids are those kids, and they reacted because of their lived experience. That wasn't the proper platform. Come
And,
talk to somebody that's safe. Them kids, it's not safe around them
you
kids.
know what?
They come from, hold on, hear me out. Hear me out. Those kids come from pain. They haven't been tutelaged or had the right direction to deal with that type of antagonism. They don't have it yet. That's why we got them in HBCUs. That's why we learn them up and teaching them up.
Okay,
Don't go play with the victim. Don't do that, bro. Don't go talk to
okay,
my mother after she was sexually harassed. Don't talk to her. Talk to me.
okay.
You want to have a conversation? Talk to me. Don't talk to my people. My people is
And
suffering
this
right
Well,
is
now.
good, JV.
they didn't even get they didn't even get to have the
Yeah,
conversation.
but
They were
they're
there for
not
10
there.
minutes.
But the problem, you said that's what's wrong with us, right? I'm in leadership, so don't say us, right? Those are my
Yeah,
It
kids.
is us
hey,
because
No,
when
no,
you're
you're not
speaking
getting it.
from
You're
your
not getting it, bro.
perspective,
JV,
when you're speaking
J,
from your perspective, you're also saying us, that us have a problem with this, us feel
No, there's
this pain.
variances.
I don't
There-
I you
There's
know
variances, bro. I don't share that level of
and
pain
I
for
and
nothing.
I do get what you're saying when you're
Yeah, I don't
saying,
share that level
they're
of pain.
young,
Bro, I
they're
talk to
young,
racists every day, bro. I work
they're
with
young.
racists, bro. I'm
So
cool. My
I
head is
get
cool.
that.
I got
They're
mental
young.
hey,
gymnastics, but I won't send them to my son. I promise you that. My son ain't ready yet. He's not ready. I'm
and
trying to work.
JV,
I'm trying to get him there. He's not ready for war. Like leave them
and
kids
JV, I
alone.
got you. I got
All
you.
right.
We gotta help them understand the temperament, bro. Like
We,
for real.
That's what we
Like
doing though, bro. I'm on a
we
job. I'm on a job. That's what we doing. They not there yet.
yeah.
Would you
So
send
we
your daughter?
gotta get them there.
Would you? Yeah, we getting them there.
is
We
it
doing good.
And
We
let's
doing
get to the
good.
hand. I want to get to Queen
all
B.
right,
I want to get
Queen
to Queen
B.
B.
Hey, good evening.
How you doing,
I'm
Queen B?
Aisha Black, Carl, and Mishan. How are you all doing?
Oh,
Good. Real
doing
quick. Does
good.
anybody know? Because I don't want to approve a speaker request. Does anybody know District Mimi? Who that is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she got
yeah,
she got mental illness, bro. She's gonna say something
yeah.
crazy.
Okay, so I shouldn't approve her request. Okay, all right,
She's
I
gonna
got you.
say something crazy, bro.
That's what I was
Okay,
thinking. All right, thank
thank
y'all.
you.
Appreciate it.
We knew
But
here. I'm
that's
glad
our
that we
sister
got
though.
other
That's
people
our
here. We
sister
don't.
though. She's cool, but
She's
she got
what?
mental illness. She's our sister. She's good, but she got mental illness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, go ahead,
Well,
Queen B.
here,
No,
Joe.
no,
I'm okay.
Can
no,
I go,
Let's
no,
get.
Michelle?
no. Go
Okay.
ahead, Queen B. Nope.
Go ahead, Queen B.
Okay, so a couple of things. So it's an interesting conversation that you're having here tonight. So I wrote down a few things that I wanted to bring to the discussion. The first thing is that I'm not sure of the age demographic of those students that, gave the opposition and began to behave badly. I almost wonder if those were maybe first year or second year students. I can't imagine
That's what they look like.
someone. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear
we
me?
hear you.
Yeah,
Yes,
we hear
we
you.
hear you.
Okay. I can't imagine someone maybe like a senior or something like that behaving that way. But let me finish my thoughts here. That's the first
Go
thing.
ahead.
And then secondly, I think that kind of ties into my next point is what preparation is the college giving them? Because we send our kids to school so that they can prepare for life and a career. And so, what role does the parent play versus, and what role does the school play? Now, if I am a parent and I don't have a college education or I don't have those social skills or those life skills, I might be just relying on they're going to learn everything they need to learn over there at the college. So I'm wondering about any sort of career preparation or those sorts of things that help prepare our students for life and for a career. So that's my second point. Then my fourth point is I work for a university. I currently work for a university. And I think I'm not saying we need to lower our expectations, but I work for, it's not a historically Black college that I work for. I work for a university, a public university. And these young adults now are being coddled. They're being told that they have to have a safe space. It's just, in my opinion, ridiculous. So I'm always, just thinking to myself, how are we preparing these students, these young adults, for life socially? Because that's what I'm saying? Because you could be as smart as you want to be in the academic side, but if your social skills are horrible, if you're not learning and there's a deficit in your social skills, that's going to come out later in life. But, I remember like when Trump won, the first time when he won, and I had gone to a meeting and it was, some people of color type meeting. And these folks, and we're adults because we were like staff and faculty at that meeting. And they had us doing breathing exercises in that meeting. Oh, Trump won last night. Oh, so okay, let's think about being in a happy place. Let's take deep breaths. Okay, now these are adults, staff, and faculty behaving like this. These are the ones that are teaching our children. So, am I surprised by what happened? No, because I know what's going on. And like I said, and this is in the institution where I am. It's a mix. It's predominantly a white, and these young adults are being taught. They're not being taught what I would call social skills to be able to confront people or to deal with conflict. They're being shielded from conflict. we got to give them a safe space over here, and we got to make sure we don't say it this way. It's going to trigger them. And that's the kind of stuff that these children are going through. So I think that we're looking at it from a lens of, like I said, I am a Gen Xer. And so I was not raised that way. I wasn't coddled. I was taught that, hey, what are you crying for? There's no reason. This is what you need to learn how to communicate. You need to learn how to conversate. You need to learn how, to have discussions and civil discourse. You need to learn how to do these things, right? So, and then debate skills is a whole nother level, right? So I think, again, I'm not asking us to lower our standards, but this is where we, I guess, as adults or parents who are sending our children to these institutions, need to really get in there and need to, help drive the curriculum, or, challenge them on what are they teaching our children. And again, I'm wondering if this is just, was this a younger audience, maybe first year students that didn't really know, and so that's the reason why they went off the way that they did. And then I'll end with this. Now, to the young men that went up there to have the debate, I really do believe that this was done so that they could have a viral moment. I really do. Because the way that this stuff got out, because everything's going viral now, but it's like everything is just so perfect with the camera and see what's happening to me now, this whole thing, I'm a victim. And then it gets out on social media, and then other comments are being made, they're already piling on, about black students anyway, but then this gets them an opportunity to keep piling on. So the comments that I saw were things like, oh, the graduation rate in the colleges, I think they said 38% or whatever. Then they started making comments about how this is a state-run school or something, and this is where our money is going. This is where our money's going to. We need to cut funding. I started seeing those kind of messages, cut funding. So I'm just real skeptical. I always kind of think political. I think a lot of stuff, and I'm always thinking about what are they going to do next, because they're trying to ride the momentum of Charlie Kirk's death, and they want to keep us, or I'm not going to say us, they want to keep these folk, they want them to have that momentum going into the midterms. They want to send them out. They want to, even now they're talking about getting them in high schools and all this other kind of stuff. And at the same time, there's a narrative that they're trying to create about young Black men and young Black women. So that's where the skepticism comes, on my part. So those are things that I just want to bring to the table to the discussion for now. And thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
Queen
Absolutely,
bee.
absolutely. I gotta give you 100 for everything that you said, because really that's my point. My point is, first off, I think we all understand at this point that, college ain't nothing but indoctrination. School in America is nothing but indoctrination. It's to teach all of them how to lay down and I don't know, but it's not giving them none of the skill set that you spoke about, which a lot of that skill set is going to work better for them. I'm so thankful to see my kids talking and just being the influential communicators that they are right now. Because, there was a point at 12 years old that I was worried, one word answers all the time. I had to talk to other parents to figure out whether or not that was normal. And but now as college students, my kids over the last couple years, they just come out of their shell, communicating more. And I think getting away from social media has been a big part of it for them. And I'm thankful for that. But again, we have to get these kids to a place and a position to where they know how, because imagine how much of a viral moment that would not have been if we didn't give them the ammo for that viral moment. You see what I'm
There
saying?
you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you
Absolutely,
go.
but they don't have the social skills.
Right.
See,
But
that's the
they should get it
problem.
from their parents, though, not the colleges.
Well, again, you know,
But you
that's
already
what
talked about
We're
that. What if they came
generations
from a
later
household?
of
You
a
already
lot
talked
of
about that.
idiocracy.
Yeah.
Go
You
ahead,
already
JV.
said, what if they came from a household where the parents not socially
Yeah,
adapt? They don't
yeah.
even know how to.
These days, the
Their
kids is growing
children
up
might
with the
be the first
parents,
children
and they
going
all
to
listen
college.
to the same music.
They growing up. They growing up listening to, you twerking with your mother, okay, and you having discourse, dysfunctional discourse with your father, okay, isn't that? But you go to college, okay. If you have not developed those good social things in your home from someone who love you, like my daughter, okay, and I know JB you there, but I want to put this in there before you go in. I did all the right things with my daughter and my son, but I got a son, and these are adopted children. Can't have any kids of my own, so I believe I have a very special way I can talk about this. Both of my children are adopted, okay, and I adopted my little girl at 18 months, and I adopted and I didn't even know this young man went ahead and took my name until he was older, but I came in his life when he was 7. Both of them was raised in a conservative brother's home. I was unapologetic. A man of God first, self-preservation for my family, my children, and third, kept government little in my household. My children never heard their parents using the N-word. My children never heard us using filthy, nasty music in our household. That was never in my household at all. I mean, you keep it 100 at all. Matter of fact, when my children up, I mean, my little girl used to say, my dad say we don't play with regular toys. We play with educational toys because he wants to prepare me for the future. All my children was being taught how to prepare for the future. Okay, so I didn't allow them. And then another thing, when my children went out to school, I send them out with this instructions. You are intended. You are out. Look at here. I remember I told my son because he was
A
boy.
reflection
Let me
of
tell you
us.
something. Huh?
A reflection of me.
Yeah. You are a reflection of me. Your butt supposed to be going in that school and getting educated. And I told my Rick, if there's a problem with any one of those teachers, you better bring that home to me. Okay. You need to let me know that. I don't need you trying to solve and fix anything in there. That's my responsibility. Okay. If there's a problem in there, if someone ain't treating you right, what the case is, you bring that home to dad and I handle it. Don't you take on your own to do anything, because anything you do out there, you are representing who? Me. Okay. So my son knew that. Okay. My daughter knew that. Okay. See, I set the tone. And I went to the schools and let them know that daddy was in the house. Okay. There was a father involved. Okay. 2-parent household. So when my son and daughter went to college, one went to Duke, one went to Western Kentucky, they were already socially adapt good coming from the house. Here's what happened, though, and I leave this. I want to say that before JV, because I want JV to say, my daughter went to Western. Now my son, he went on to Duke. My son doing very well, doing what he's doing. I'm very proud of my son. But my daughter, she went to Western Kentucky, Queen Bee, and I'm emotionally, and they indoctrinated her against me. She got caught up in the Black Lives Matter. She got caught up in all the things. She called me and telling me, you and your conservative views got it all screwed up, and you done boop blah 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 blah. And I'm a retired E7 for the military. I'm not used to no child, but she's my baby. So I allowed my baby to talk to me in a manner that I wouldn't allow anybody else because it's my baby. So I allowed my baby to talk to me and tell me what is it that her daddy didn't understand. And I sat there and I allowed my child to talk to me from the indoctrination that she was getting from being away from home. And she said some very foul and ugly things to me, and I allowed her to get it all out. And I said when she got, and I told her I didn't want to interrupt. This is where I was talking about good communication. I gave my daughter the same respect. I allow her to be heard. I didn't interfere. I allowed her to say everything she wanted to say, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. A child that I adopted at 18 months, gave her everything, gave her the best life that she could possibly have, and she went to that college and called me all type of names and everything because everything that the college had taught her made her turn against me. And I'm talking about me because she did it to me. And after she got done, I said, "Baby, are you done? Are you finished? I didn't interrupt you. You get it all out?" And she told me, "Yeah." And I said, "Thank you." I said, "Girl, baby, I didn't raise you on being black. That was the first time. I didn't raise you as a black man. I didn't raise you how to be a black girl. I didn't raise you that way. I raised you to be a humanity and be the best humanity that my God has told me to raise you in the manner that I am not a black man before I'm a man of God. I'm a man that has principles. Did you ever hear me? Did you ever hear your daddy use the N word? Did you ever hear your daddy say anyone white ever prevented me from doing anything? Did you ever hear your daddy talk that way? You never heard me talk that way. Did you ever hear me talking about my existence only comes from what the government can do for me? Did you ever hear me talk that way? You never heard me talk that way. So why are you coming back to me telling me about what whoop wop 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 somebody else is telling you when you wasn't raised or nothing like that? You were raised to be the best image of first your creator, your parents who had raised you, and of yourself and what it is that you want to accomplish. The color of your goddamn skin. And I said to her, if that's, and then, she said this, I no longer want to be involved with you. I no longer want to be associated with you. I no longer want to carry your name. I no longer want to be involved with you because of you and your conservative views. Boo, blah, blah. And I said, and I had to look and I had to take it all. And I said to her, I said, baby, let me tell you this. You go do you. You go do you, because you know what? This is the most powerful thing. I raised you to be your own person. And if that's how you feel, go do it. Go make it happen. And that's how we parted. And I've talked to her since then. Of course, she done changed her heart about a lot of different things. But that's how I sent her off and let her know, go do you. Because baby, I raised you to be your own person. I ain't trying to make you be me. But I'm proud of you. You want to follow that? Go do you. I did my part. Go do you. Now my daughter is a 35-year-old young lady, no children, successful, entrepreneur, author. I'm almost afraid that she might not even find a young man to get with her because she's a chip off her own, or even when she don't even want to acknowledge, she is so sharp, so good.
And let me say this, uh, your daughter's gorgeous. She looked like Lauryn Hill in her prime. She looks just like Lauryn Hill. It's amazing.
Yeah,
And
my daughter's
she-
beautiful.
she's a regular chocolate sister.
Yeah.
It's I know that had to hurt you.
Oh, it hurt me to my heart, man. It hurt me to my
We
heart.
can hear it in your voice.
So let's get to the hands, JV. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, I think this is part and parcel to the TSU thing. I think what's happening is we're too
Yeah,
eager.
you got static behind you, bro. Where you at?
All right, hold on. I'm in a supermarket. Give me 1 second. Wait, give me 1 second. Can you hear me? Can anybody else hear me?
We can hear you, but the noise behind you is kind of.
All right, it's gonna be done in 1 second. The point I'm making is this, right?
Can we go to Queen Bee and you come back?
Wait, because it's gonna be on a rant. What I'm saying is this: I think that there's an issue with narcissism in our community, or in America, particularly when it comes to Black people. It's all me, I, self. It's all centered at what we want. We're not recognizing that people don't need to be indicted or scrutinized at the level they're being indicted and scrutinized. Those young people have the right to be present and show up in the way that they showed up. And even within that group, that's might have been a fringe group that doesn't even represent the entire of that population on that college. But it's often, even with your story, and I'm sorry for you, brother, and your relationship with your daughter, but she has room for and freedom for expression, right? You can't always self-center yourself when it comes to other people. That shows a lack of empathy. That shows a strong sense of self. You are not her. She is her own woman. And so are them young people at that college. And they're expressing their vision of the world in the way that they express their vision of the world and their lived experience. So it's not up to us. It's not up to those DEI guys. It's not up to anybody to keep showing up in our world and telling us and dictating us what our experience is and how we should see life. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is yours. It's not mine. So I think this conversation is part and parcel to what happened in that college. Why would you go there with these fresh minds who clearly defy the odds to get out of whatever unfortunate circumstances that they came up with, whether it was poverty or single family homes, and they made it to university, and here you are antagonizing them and chastising them about items that might create more harm in their life. I think we have to stop that. I think we have to stop creating this environment where we have to be coddled in a way where we don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to express ourselves. We don't know how to communicate. I think that's horrible. I think we have shown proof of process that even under duress, even under extreme conditions, we have showed up and have been very exemplary in this world. And it's nonsense where we have to always tell Black people, this is not this is not that. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to come on our college and do that. You don't need to hold my hand. You don't need to tell me to be conservative. You just need to live your life, and I'm going to live mine. And that's my statement.
Hey, JV, I appreciate it. Hey, you know the game of, have you played the game of chess?
Yes, sir.
You know the game of chess?
Yes, sir.
I will love, well, actually, I don't play the game like that. I play the game in life. And so, and I'm going to say to you, and I hope you receive what I'm about to tell you, bro. It isn't, I'm going to say this to you in love. And,
I will beat your butt in some chess, man. Don't even try.
You know what, brother? Let me tell you something. You know what? Just in your submission, I will find your weak spot. I will find your weak spot.
I will beat your butt.
I will find your weak spot, and I will whip your ass every time. Okay? You know why? You know why? You know why?
Tell me why.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm talking about I will be able to whip you in the game of intellect without even having to play the game because I will whip you in your weak spot.
I will whip your butt. So, you try it. Stay with it.
I'm talking about an intellect. I'm talking about intellect. I'm not even. So I don't even need to play the game. I don't need to play. I would love to have you and I. You know, think you need to. I want you to make sure you come see. I want you to make sure you come this Sunday at 3:00 and see you at 3:00.
45. Yeah, for the debate with Sir Ludwig.
Yeah, so it's
this
Sir
Sunday.
Ludwig. Yeah. I want you to come. I want you to come and see me have the debate with Sir Ludwig this Sunday
I
at 3
got your
o'clock.
back.
But
Okay.
you know what's interesting is the fact that
And-
I mean when you talk about not coddling, you're coddling the kids. I mean that's
yeah.
literally what you're doing because
No, but it's
again,
freedom of expression. That's called not coddling. You allow
not
people to. No, but brother,
that's that type of
allow
crap
no,
that allows people to say
no,
that
no,
I feel
no.
like
That's
an
not an
alligator
extreme.
inside, so I'm gonna go get some tattoos to make me look like an
No, but
alligator
that's an
because that's
extreme.
freedom
You're
of
using
expression.
extreme. No, you're using extremes, but people have their own lived
But
experience
people
and
do
expressing
that
it.
though.
No, but hear
Right
me
now,
out,
people
brother. Hear
getting
me out.
checks right now because their kid
Well,
feels
that's an
like a
extreme. Let
cat
them do it.
inside.
Let them have at it. Have at it. What you prefer them do? Go in the basement
Really,
and kill yourself?
taxpayers' dollars,
Woo,
$1,000 a month to pay somebody's
hey,
rent because
Joe.
their kid need to be on the short bus
Hey,
instead
Joe.
of
Hey,
getting a
Joe.
check for
You
feeling
looking
like
at
a kitty
extremes,
cat.
Hey,
bro.
Joe.
You're
Hey, Joe. Let them have it, bro. Let them have it.
Nah,
Let
it's
them
all
have it.
good. It's all good. We're gonna go to the hands. Queen B, you're up next.
Yeah. Well, the interesting perspective. Everybody has a different perspective. So now my son went to Eastern Kentucky University, and I guess when it came to expression, he he was kind of molded and shaped, with us. So I didn't really
I
though.
can
So
tell
when
if he came under your house, he better have walked out there behaving a certain kind of way. Am I
well,
right?
basically, it's like, look, this is my money, okay? Your goal is to get out of there and get you a good job and pay these student loans back and pay me back, and that's the thing. Forget all that expression stuff. You go over there and you take care of business and get, academically set up so that you can become employable. But I was going to say, like, just kind of turn into the solutions, because we do have we have situations where we do have a lot of these young adults that the circumstance is what it is. We can't go back and reverse it. They've come up again. Some of them
Right.
might have come up, in one parent households or whatever the case. Or again, like I was saying, I'm interested in kind of seeing what were the age demographics. You see what I'm saying? There's certain things about maturation. I'm thinking if they're only, freshmen or something like that, then, maybe this, I'm not really surprised, But again, who's responsible for filling that role for them, and not necessarily a parent but a mentor. And so that's what makes me think about the Divine Nine. And I would think TSU has a strong alumni. So what role can they play? If we're talking about solutions now, do some of these young people need a mentor? Because the career planning office, career services can't do all of it. They can't, so that's where they need a lot of that, just the kind of like shadowing somebody so that, what I'm saying? But the social skills, those are things that you can learn, but I
Can I go
know,
back
like
and
I
forth
said,
with your sister?
but when I think about, let me finish for a second here.
Okay.
But when I think about, like I said, even at the university where I teach, and I'm like, my goodness, they're not learning the stuff that they should be learning over here. And if the stuff that they're doing, this whole safe space thing, I forgot to tell you, when Trump won this time, when they saw that it was a possibility that he was going to win because of the polls and whatnot last year, and prior to election night, I think it was that Thursday before election night, they sent a notice out, right, to all of the staff and faculty, basically saying to us, yeah, and I'm paraphrasing, they didn't say yeah, but basically it said, we are preparing safe spaces for next Tuesday. And if you have any of your own staff or anything like that needs to talk, or any of the, students that need to talk, and, here's where you need to send them. So again, now I call that coddling, because I'm like, my goodness. And then I think about the way they
Just
treated
grow up.
us,
Grow up.
all the having us breathe in, and like, and then I forgot to tell you this. So after the first time he won, and we were all like faculty and staff sitting in a room, and they had us going through this breathing exercise, and then they put up on the screen, it was like it was a picture of the beach and a chair, and they were like, imagine you're on this beach, it's sitting in this chair. And then we ended the meeting with I think it was Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions, Keep on Pushing or something. But I just couldn't believe it after I walked out of there. I said, because this is supposed to be an incubator for learning. And number one, they assume everybody has the same political leaning. So they just go there, right? With all of this stuff. So there is lots of indoctrination going on, but they're treating adults like, wait a minute, hold up a second. I lived through Reagan, I lived through some presidents. Don't tell me I can't live through this.
I'm born in 1961. You know the crap I came through.
So if they treat us like that, how you think they treating the students?
But Queen B, you gotta also recognize, like, you're an anomaly, right? You lived through all these things, you have the outcomes that you have, and I think it's amazing. And I shout out to that, and I recognize that. But you have to recognize that a lot of outcomes weren't yours. A lot of people are either not here or out of their mind. The people that came out of the Gen X era, because I'm a Gen X as well. And I don't even have my whole mind. I'm sure you guys can tell. But yeah, there was a lot of horrible things, a lot of horrible experiences and outcomes. So I think the attempt to try to shift that up and change, although might seem like coddling to you, it's at least an attempt to try to recognize that people didn't feel right? There was a lot of harm. There was a lot of despondency. There was a lot of displacement of people from families and things, and that really what happened. You look at our prison industrial complex. You look at our wealth gap. You look, these things are real. You look at people's mental health. This is real. So this attempt to give people space and a place, yeah, maybe it might sound corny or whatever, but I like the fact that at least it's a try. If it doesn't work, let's try something else, right?
Well, like I said,
You understand what I'm saying, sister?
Is this JV I'm talking to? Because my phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, JV. Thank you for the dialogue. Yeah, like I said, I do understand what you were saying, but like I said,
it's a try. It doesn't mean it works.
I understand what you're saying. I don't discount what you're saying. And again, this is just where I just have a difference of opinion in. And again, I'm using my perspective of what I told my son. Look, you go down there and your number one goal is not to do all this other stuff. Get ready, for life. And because you want to be able, and then you want to be able to deal with conflict. You want to be able to confront, these are some skills that you need to learn. And that's, college is supposed to be helping you to do those things. They're not supposed to be, in my opinion,
indoctrinating
with all the money that you're paying.
But there's an assumption there. But Queen B, there's an assumption.
They learn to conflate.
Hold on, hear what I'm saying. There's an assumption that a lot of the kids don't have that. What about the many kids that didn't engage? What about the many kids that saw the play? Those was a small demographic of that college campus that expressed their feelings or their angst against something that is particular to them. You can't say all of those kids don't have the mental dexterity or the ability or the Queen Bees. That's not that we keep being confronted with that. We see the low-hanging fruit and we say black people need not to be this. Well, black people are not that by percentages. That's just those people, that's their experience. And even in that confrontation, I saw that one young man, he had the articulation to engage those men. He spoke on the fact that we were rich in experience in science and math. So why do we keep this? You understand what I'm saying? Why are we dismissing an entire group based on some hurt people? Because everybody was hurt there. Them two young white men were hurt men.
Yeah.
They were ineffective. Why are we not indicting those two young men who would antagonize a potential harm to get their thing off the ground? I think they need mental help. Why would
I agree with you, JV. I'm with
everybody,
nobody discounts that.
Nobody discounted them.
Why would you do that? My mother just got raped, and you're telling women not to wear skimpy clothes?
Nobody said that. We're just saying the reaction is off.
Yeah, but
we need to learn how to have better reactions.
We cannot indict a race of people based on
nobody's indicting a race of people.
No one's doing that. I just have JV, I'm not indicting the people. I have a critique of higher ed. That's my thing. I have a critique of higher ed. Now I've been an adjunct professor. I mean, I've been in academia for a long time. And now I'm a staff person. Now I'm a staff person. I'm sorry, what?
Where were you raised?
Where was I raised? In California. Yeah. I was raised in East Palo. I was raised in East Palo Alto, then San Jose.
Shout out
then
to you.
I was a military. Yeah.
A lot
That's
of people
me.
don't have your outcome, right? There was a lot of pain out there in East Palo Alto. A lot of people are not Miss Queen Bee. What I'm saying to you, we can't indict a whole group of people based on anomaly. That's not real. You have to get closer and figure out why.
No, JV, did you hear what I said? JV,
Yes,
did you
ma'am.
hear what
Yes,
JV? Did you
yes,
hear
the
what I
college.
said?
Yeah, the college grooming. They're grooming them. That's what
Yeah,
they said.
JV, when I was speaking about my experience, I said my current experience is at a university that's not an HBCU. I'm indicting the whole entire group. I am just offering my experience from what I'm seeing. It's not just the Black kids, it's all of them that are getting this. That's my critique.
And
that's
so,
my critique.
and I want to add this little critique. I never attended nobody's college, not a one. You gotta stop. No, don't tell. Listen up, Slick. Don't tell me. Let me speak. Let me be me. Don't come in here telling me what I get. I'm 65 years old, man. I don't need you telling me about. Don't tell the boy. You how old are you? You probably my daughter's age, man.
I love you, that's narcissistic.
Hey, brother. Don't do that with me. Okay, let me do me. All right.
I love you to life.
Just let me do me. So I'm gonna say my I when I want to say my I. All right. So I came through the military. And I got a blanket party in the military by older brothers because I wasn't fitting the norm, and they whipped my ass, okay, to get me with the program, okay, and I to this day is thankful for that ass whipping they gave me, very much, okay, very much thankful. Those brothers. Because after I got that ass, okay, and I did not turn on them, and that drill sergeant asked me, "What happened to you, Private Floyd?" And I stood in that front, and I stood there, and I said I fell out of bed, and I didn't turn. I didn't report who turned on me. Those same brothers after the end of the formation grabbed me, took me under the wings, and they educated me on things that I hate when people don't say I.
I'm teasing with you. Don't get mad.
I am from Miami, Florida. Okay, I'm not from blackness. Okay, I come from Miami, Florida. Grew up in the '60s. Okay, but did not grow up black. So when I tell people I did not grow up black, the first time I heard someone, the title of the show, I Ain't Your Black. The first time I heard someone tell me I was not black was from black people. They the first one told me I wasn't black. I'm like, what the hell? I thought I was. Nah. They told me I didn't have the accolades. I didn't have the swagger. I didn't have the social things that was required to be affiliated with being a black male. And they dogged me so after those first 4 years in the military, I had to learn how to go get my black card. Okay. Sean worked hard to get that black card to be what? Accepted, acknowledged, viewed, allowed to hang out with my people. Because the Sean that the first Sean, I wasn't accepted, and I took an ass whipping for it, okay? So to no longer get that ass whipping, I had to go and get that black card. Now, I mastered that black. No, let me skip this out. I just love talking to little shorties, talking noise. Let me tell you something. I'm so proud that my mother, and I'm going to go all the way back to my mother. This is in my book. I'm Not Your Black. Go get my book. Time to unlearn to relearn.com. Time to unlearn to relearn.com. And you got to read that book, Time to Unlearn to Relearn.com. You ain't even ready to read my second book that just dropped 3 weeks ago, named I
You
Am.
gonna call that book narcissistic?
I know what he got. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he got that. Yeah, you ain't even ready to read I Am Messiah, okay, if you've not read my first book. So I wouldn't even say please don't even try to read my second book if you've not read my first book. But I'm gonna tell you something. Let me get you, Queen B. I go see my mother. My mother's got off the phone with me. I thank my mother every day. I talk to her for the 4 things that she did for me. 4 things she did for me. How many of you know what your mother or your parents have sacrificed for you to put you in a position to do well in this world? Do y'all know? How many of y'all know? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know what your parents have literally sacrificed or done? They done what they done, literally their choices for you on your behalf. Here's the 4 choices my mother made for me on my behalf when I didn't know how to make no choices for myself. 1, she decided to have me at 20 years old when my seeding father wanted her to abort me. He didn't even want her to have me. My mother decided to have me. 2, my mother decided trying to keep this man in her life. His middle name is Meshorn. She gave me his middle name, Meshorn. It didn't work. They got a divorce. And then she went on. The 3rd thing she did for me is that for whatever going on in her world and everything, church and her family was all jacked up. She sheltered me from everything black. I'm just going to keep it 100. My mother, we didn't go to black churches. We didn't go on black families. I don't know her. I was separated from, Joe knows, I just found my grandmother 102 years old, 55 years later. Okay. Because she sheltered me from all of that. So my mother sheltered me from blackness. Okay. And then the 4th thing she did for me, she put me in the military and she sent me off this way. Baby, I'm going to send you away from here because I was failing in school. I was an alcoholic. I was drugs. I'm doing some crazy stuff. And she sent me away. And she said, babe, I'm sending you away because I want you to go and learn how to become a man. And she put me in the military. Till this day, I thank my mother for those 4 things. Without those 4 things, you would not have the Meshorn or the Uncle Meshorn I am today. I ask you again, what have your parents, what do you know? What can you put? That might be a title we want to do next, Tootie. What have your parents sacrificed for you to put you right? And go ahead, Queen B.
I'm sorry, was I supposed to respond to that question, or I'm
No,
gonna say what I want to say?
no. I just
Your
Oh,
your hand was
okay.
up.
Okay.
your hand
Well,
was up. Your hand was up.
yeah, my hand was up, but it wasn't. It was up before you asked that question.
I wasn't. The
No, he's
question
just saying,
wasn't.
go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I again, I just want to. I think we're beyond the point of speaking on what we the deficits,
Yeah.
okay, of what's going on with our people. At this point, we just have to be solution oriented. We already know
Amen.
there's problems that exist, and to me, there's nothing worse than just keep talking about it if we're not going to do anything. And that's why I said I think there's opportunity. I mean, I see opportunity in all of this, and maybe some of these HBCUs, maybe they need people to mentor, volunteer to mentor, get involved. But at the same time, I am telling you from my personal experience, I think it's just not the way it was. College is not the way it was when. Now, I was an adult learner. I didn't, I got married, had my child, and then I went to college as an adult. So it was different for me. I wasn't a traditional student. So, and there was a reason for that. I just wasn't ready, to go to college right out of high school. So I just think, you know, uh, it, things are just different than the way they were before. You know, like I think about that show, A Different World. When I was coming up, uh, you know, I'm a product of the 80s, and a lot of my classmates, that was their dream. Hey, I want to go off to Spelman. I want to go to Howard, and they did those things. And they fulfilled their dreams. They got involved in fraternities, sororities, and did all of those things. And they're very successful people in life. But a lot of my friends came from two-parent households. I would say, what, a lot of them didn't either, but things were just different. I think things were just different. I think there was more of the colleges probably a little bit were more balanced with what they were teaching. I do believe now that a lot of that curricula is just very one-sided and
leftist.
very one-sided. In fact, Ohio passed that law, SB1, to try to counter that, because now Ohio is like, okay, well, of course they ban everything that's DEI within the state institutions, including higher ed. But the professors now, they're like, you have to have an opposing point of view, So if they have to pass a law to make the professors have an opposing, to accept an opposing point of view in the class, what does that tell you?
What do that tell you? That boy, Queen Bee, what do that tell you? Golly.
Yeah, so that's why I just kind of say, I don't know. I mean, that's why I said I have to manage my expectations now. I have to manage it. It's just not the way it was. And I can't even see, I don't even think it was the way my son graduated in 2010. I never experienced the type of things that my son, I mean, at least through him, there weren't those issues. Now, my son did go to K-State first, and he didn't like it. So he
didn't like K-State?
He didn't like K-State. So he moved on over to Eastern. So yeah, so like I said, but my personal experience, I just think it's they trying to indoctrinate the adults over there where I am.
Yeah. So hey, Queen B, you done? I see John. John, you were just there. I thought you wanted to speak, John.
I think that a lot of this, the single parent household has been a big effect. You know what's crazy? You had brief conversation with Rudy, the person I have the contract with, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I did. Yeah.
We had a conversation today. He was calling his daughter, and coincidentally, I was like, you know what? I need to, message my daughter, right? And so we went off into our separate ways. We were having a training meeting, and we both went back and forth to talk to our respective daughters. And we came back to the table, and we briefly had quick conversation about our conversations with our daughters. And we started talking about kids and family, and it's amazing because one of the things he said was how he was like, it's so important for a father. He said, whether you're in the household together or not is not the biggest deal, but having a father's involvement, and I spoke to the fact that the other day, my daughter came over the house. She texted me, said she was on her way. She said she was bringing a friend, and, it popped in my head. And I thought it was like a girlfriend or whatever, a homegirl, whatever, because she's on U of L campus now.
Don't tell me.
She came out, she brought a guy. And so, I had them, they sat down, chilled. I went ahead and fed them. When the kids come over, they always get fed by a chef anyway. So it's all good. And as they were leaving, I said, so is this a thing right here? And
You had that
they
dad
kind of
moment with your daughter.
they chuckled, you know, and we've, you know, and I've had this moment before, and I expressed it to you before. But she's and one of the things Rudy pointed out, he was like, you know, your daughter's comfortable with bringing her boyfriends to you, and he was talking about how great that is,
The
because
greatest compliment that a daughter can do for that's the greatest compliment that I learned that from.
absolutely,
I learned that from the other. I learned that from other men with fathers. They said the greatest compliment your daughter. You know that you have done. My daughter did the same thing. It's the greatest compliment your daughter pays you is when she's willing to bring whoever she's thinking about to you. That she paying you the
yeah,
hell of a compliment.
yeah. So, you know, this guy's in her life, and so, you know, and I joked around, hey, so I don't have to do the whole, you know, take you in another room, put the 40 caliber in my lap, and you know, and do the whole thing, do I? And you know, we laughed about it. I said, listen, just, you know, treat her like I would treat her. Understand that, you know, you're an extension of me when it comes to safety and safeguarding her when I'm not around. Because, you know, our kids are like, especially the daughters, it's like your heart walking around outside your body. You know what I mean? So, but I think that when it comes to fathers involved in the kid's life, whether you know, I mean, my kids were born knowing us, me and their mother separated, right? But I've always been there, and even as, you know, as evil as it could be with someone trying to throw a monkey wrench in the relationship between me and the kids, you know, since they've been driving in the last few years, they've had the opportunity to come back to the table and get to know their father even more, and
Revisit some
realize,
things, brother.
oh,
It's called revisit some things.
and then they realize that, you know, a lot of the stuff that they might have been hearing from a one-sided point of view is a total farce. But the whole thing is the importance of a man being there. And I'm not saying it can't be done without a man there. I'm just saying it's very important when a man is there, and his presence is there, is involved. I told my daughter before, I said, you always bring your boyfriends by me, because they need to know that there's a man that will reach down their throat and rip their esophagus directly from their throat cavity if in fact there's any harm they bring your way. They need to know that. So you always bring your boyfriends by, and she does that. She respects me enough to do that. It may not be like right when she meets him, but she makes sure that it happens soon enough, and that I'm in the picture. So that's something right there. When we talk about this emotion that's out there, and that's all it is. And that's what we're talking about. That incident with TSU, that's a whole lot of emotion, unnecessary emotion. It wouldn't have went viral. You helped this man go viral. It wouldn't have went viral if the kids hadn't have been acting like that. So yeah, we're going to say 18 to 22. That's the age range, right? So if they hadn't have been acting that way, it wouldn't have went viral. You sat there and you helped their agenda. If going viral was their agenda, if getting them 15 minutes of fame
You
was
helped
their
to
agenda,
see. You helped
you
it
just
happen.
helped them. Yeah.
Mhm.
So guess what? They got donors and everything now because of you. People coming up, they're gonna start sponsoring them, dropping dollars to help them go to college campuses and do even more.
And Joe, and guess what? It hit it right on the nose. If all they were doing is looking for sound bites to create a narrative, you just
You
gave them
just
the
helped them do
sidebite
it.
to confirm the narrative that they were trying to. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's all that anybody's saying here is we're saying, yo, we have to learn to have a different temperament, to have the ability to converse with what you might call the other side, someone that you don't agree with. Maybe you don't like them or what have you. But guess what? You got to be able to converse. You got to be able to have dialogue. You want this, that, and the other. You're playing on their monopoly board. You want this, that, and the other from them. Yet you don't
You
even
refuse
have.
to sit down at the table with them and have a conversation.
Absolutely.
And that's partly, and let me as one of the elders on here talking, that's partly our fault. You know, I have to own up to the fact that culturally, from our generation, and Carl, do you want to speak to this too? We didn't know what we didn't know, and so we went out there and did with it. But I literally have to say that if I was going to take some responsibility, you know, being born in 1991, you know, I done with my part with my children. But if I was going to hold my demographics of people accountable, I think we did a poor job. Like I just said, what have your parents done to sacrifice for you to give you a leg up? Okay, give you a good position that you can navigate in America. I believe culturally, and I will put this on us culturally. I'm not going to put this on nobody.
We stopped. There's a gap where we stopped parenting and we started depending. We started depending on the school system that they're supposed to do this, that, and the other. No,
and we need to own that. So I'm willing to own that culturally, even though I know I did what I did with my children. But I'm willing to say culturally, as a baby boomer generation, we failed that with our children, and I'm willing to take responsibility for that. Okay.
Yeah, you got to, because you know they point the finger at y'all baby boomer ass. They be like, baby boomers, y'all baby, you are the reason why I'm sucking my thumb right now. It is y'all's fault.
I mean, yeah, I came into space, but yeah, you boy, they are whip my Lord. Hey, Carl, you know,
John, got an issue. We are professional finger pointers.
Yeah,
some people
we are point the finger all the way back to Genesis.
If they put that as an Olympic sport,
but we will win at that, boy. Pointing fingers, but we point, not realizing that they pointing three fingers pointing back at them. You know, they ain't realizing that though, right? They ain't realize that. Hey, John, I see you on this. You wanna leave something here, man?
Hey, hello everybody.
What's up, John?
Nothing much. Listen, it's a great conversation. Definitely listening to with the part that I really wanted to share was about the raising the daughter thing. But definitely wanted to kind of touch on a couple of things. Queen B laid some really stuff out, made some very good points about how we are as a people. But you know, when you got to talking about the father thing, now, you know, I raised my daughter. I had got custody of her when she was 3. And it's very interesting seeing things from a different field of raising a daughter. And it's one piece that I'll be writing about as a chapter that I'm having in my piece about that raising a daughter is very interesting for a man. And the challenges that you're up against, you know, especially raising a daughter. A son would have been a lot better, but it was more challenging raising a daughter. Things I had to learn about women, and you know, trying to raise her into a daughter, which was impossible. But I wanted to keep her around women that would give her an image. And I think when we came up, you know, a lot of fathers in the home, like someone mentioned about fathers in the home is very important. It sets the standard. Fathers are not really loved; they're respected. And so they are the last voice to straighten things out when, you know, you always have the different sides. And I think now women today, and because of men, because of the absence of men in the home, which plays one of the biggest pieces, the absence of men in the home is where a lot of women don't get how to choose a man. And here's a very simple question, like Joe, when you talked about the young man that wanted to date your daughter, it's a very good question I always ask. Where did you learn how to be a man? That's a great question. you know, because you want to know that the only way you can find out if he's a man, the one to date your daughter, you got to know where did he learn it from, right? And you got to, that's when you dig in real deep consciously, when you ask an individual, where'd you learn how to be a man? Because you're not born a man, you're born a male. To become a man, there are certain things you must learn to become that, what is called a man, and how that stands, right? And there's three characteristics that the women misunderstanding what a man is. And so what she sees is what is glamorized. And this is how she gets used as coming up. The more men she have in her life, the more men, the more discombobulated she is on even how to choose one. In other words, the woman is a carrier. When she carries the male sperm, you know, a woman can be with a man for so long and have a baby by another, get out of the relationship, and months later get in another relationship and have a baby, and the baby will have the characteristics of the guy that's been with her for 5-6 years, right? Because she's the carrier of the gene and the characteristics, because you pick up those characteristics, and women begin to mimic their man being around them for so long. So, but when you choose the wrong one, what happens is that now she meets one just for the purpose of missing having a dad, and that's what I'm gonna get back to. Missing having a dad, that she seeks it and end up just getting sex, because that's what we men do. You know, if we're not disciplined, as y'all was talking about the other day, you're not disciplined with them peanuts, you're just gonna run around and just pop out kids. And it's really damaging the community. And this is what we have in this society here. But when you ask a person, where'd you learn how to be a man? Listen to what they tell you, right? Listen to where they say it from my uncle, television. Some men think they're men because they just came up. You just see the answers, right? And so if it's missing, then you know that how would he know how to treat your daughter? Because if he didn't have a father. It's very important to have a father in the present. So I participated in my daughter's life. I mean, that's one of the key things. It's not being a father and coming around every now and then. I mean, really participating, doing things with her, taking her out, showing her. These things begin to be what size up a man, what a man really looks like. Because that's the only lens that she needs to see first to learn how to measure up. So these young women who don't get that, they're seeking fathership in them. You got a lot of young girls seeking older men now, because they're tired of the younger ones. A lot of young ones are gay now, but they're seeking men. They're even seeking older men now. So you see a trend happening, and you see a lot of women having babies, and after them they have so many babies. So now you got children raised up without fathers. Now we have this community that's out here, the music and everything else you add to it. Then you wonder what's wrong with us, because the father's absent. And if the fathers, it all lays down of the woman, what she carries and what she's doing and how she behaves, all lays down back in the father's lap, because he wasn't there. She had to have a daddy, right? And so he wasn't there in the presence of her life to give her guidance about what a man is. And that becomes the problem in our community. And you know what? We celebrate this shit. I'm gonna tell you, we do. We celebrate it in the music. Look at the music we're pushing to ourselves. We don't. I ain't got to even name names of women with the music that's out here now. Keeping my granddaughter away from this crap now, as I am doing a lot of censoring where she can't hear this type of music. It's really hard because it's everywhere. But you have to learn to speak against it and show where, for a little child like I'm dealing with. She's 11. But the discipline, that I put into her is what I try to give her, this other side from this other realm of things that you can see. But that's what I wanted to add, that piece there. Thanks.
Hey man,
Hey,
always
thank you, John.
a pleasure. And I because John and I, we talked extensively. We had a show together and everything. And my hat goes off to him when he talks about raising because one of the things he kind of just grazed over it for a second here, but in order to help her learn how to be a woman, he went out and sought women figures that he approved of in order to help teach her how to be a woman, how to be a lady. You know what I mean? And that's important. The reason why that's important is because it works in reverse as well. On the other side, women, you know, you have to. It's important to, if you don't have, if the man is not, if the father's not in the life, however that came about, it's important to go out and find father figures for that child, boy or girl. It's necessary. Go ahead, Queen B.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to John, yeah, I really appreciated what you just said. That resonates with me because I mean, my father has been in my life. My parents were married. My marriage didn't stay together, but one of the reasons why my marriage didn't stay together is because the more I was with my husband, the longer I was with him, he wasn't like my dad. And, so there is a certain thing I think with we as females where, like who's the person that's always there? My dad, right? It's the person that makes me feel secure, my dad. And so I think it's natural to look for those sorts of things, and yeah, and your father's pretty much the person that you're going to learn that from. Because I think without that closeness, then you're something, I think innately I don't know. I just this is where my faith comes in. I just believe that there's an order for things. I believe that the Lord put things in perfect order. And I believe when we mess up his order, we have to overcompensate or, we have to find other ways. But deep down inside, I think the natural response is you're looking for that male figure that has been a provider, that's been someone who's kept you safe and secure. You're going to look for those things, in a mate or in a husband. So I just wanted to say I appreciated what you said, Alan.
And you said something very powerful when you said natural response. That's the natural. We got a lot of unnatural, out of order things happening in this day and age. Absolutely.
Yeah, I say that all the time. We fight against the natural and the unnatural. Something else John said, I love what he said this. He said a father is not necessarily love, but respect. Please say, but people don't understand respect is love. Okay. When you respect someone, you love who they are. You realize.
Well, I don't know. I mean that's a conversation in and of itself.
I'm just saying that when he said that,
because even when you say that, respect, men put respect above love. Typically, that we want.
Well, there's some truth. There's some truth to that. It's true. Yeah. But when I heard him say that, I like, that was powerful.
It's powerful, especially because you look at the fact that, we got Father's Day and then every other holiday is for women.
Oh my God.
But
hey,
I'm glad
you know what? Hey, check this out. You and I peeped this before. Hey, check this. I'm gonna speak it and I hope he go back. We got these young bloods. That come around. And then when you challenge them, they don't stay around for the whole. They don't like to come in, peek their head in, and say what they want to say, and then they want to bounce. Okay, they want to bounce. Okay, we got a lot of that. Okay, especially when you want to call them on their BS. Okay,
it's man-like. It's man-like.
Yeah, it's a man-like.
I love JV, and I love when he comes in and spits his perspective. The thing that I love about him is he can be, and he's mostly very calm. He knows how to chill and have a conversation. He can get riled up from time to time, but so I love his demeanor. But I can tell he's young and
that's
he's
why
been coddled, and he doesn't realize he's been coddled.
Yeah. That's why I was messing with it. I think you knew what I was doing. I bet John knew what I was doing. I said, you play chess? Oh, you play chess, right? Yeah. He said, yeah. See, he want to play chess in the game. Now, I want to just play chess in life, okay? I say I want to play chess and intellectual conversation with you, bro. I can assure you, okay, that you got some weak points, bro. That I will get you all out your. It's called what we say. It's that funkadelic song. You done heard, maybe have you heard me say that you get in the head and the ass will follow? Yeah, y'all heard that song? You ever heard it?
That's the name of the song? That's the title? Or that's just a lyric in one of the songs?
That's how the song goes. It's not the title.
Yeah, that's what the song. I can't. It says it's not what I'm paraphrasing it, but you can look it up based on that. You get in the head, but it's from the Funkadelics, okay? And the ass will follow. But I know that last part is in there, and the ass will follow. Okay. When you get in the head, the ass will follow. And so that is an ongoing thing that the dominant, and I'm saying this for a reason, the dominant culture got our number. They got our number. They got our number. They got our number. What did they do? They get in the head, get in our head, get in our emotions, getting into all that stuff, and guess what we do? The ass will follow. Okay, we get all in our emotions, we get all bent out of shape, we get that, and I think it ties in with Jonathan, the noise. They know how to create the noise to get us all out of whack. Hey, go ahead, John.
Hey, real quick, it says free your mind and your ass will follow. The actual
free your mind, your ass will follow.
The actual lyrical intent is that by freeing one's mind, one's ass will follow in the sense of following the mind's path or will.
Yeah. That's
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So you see, we are hunters. Men are naturally hunters, conquerors, builders. You know, this is what we do. We conquer, we take over, boom. We want that, we go after it, right? And so one of the things that women may not understand is their value. And I'm gonna give you an example. So, and excuse my language. Women are out here giving away the pussy. And there's a difference in being chosen and being liked. The man who likes you is the one that's going to speak, you know, and proper to you and get you to open the door and give you flowers and stuff like that. And, you know, but the man who chooses you is going to be the one that's want to marry you, buy you a house, you know, buy you a big ring, buy you a car, right? So he'll put work into it. So it has always been natural for men to provide. It's very interesting, even in culture-wise, when the elders would take the youth out and take them out and to learn how to hunt, build, and then the ones that came back, it was the ones that had a wildebeest on his back, or had a necklace full of tooths, or something that he was showing value. Those was the ones that the women wanted to choose. So the women saw themselves as, I wanted to choose him. You know, I'm going after that one right there. It looked like he got that big wildebeest on his back. So we always had to show how we'll provide. This is the funny piece when they say women are gold diggers. Women are supposed to be gold diggers. Women are supposed to be looking for. Listen, there are three things innate that women look for in a man, and they don't even know it. One is they look for a man that can survive. Secondly, they look for a man that can provide. Thirdly, they look for a man that has guidance. Now, listen to this. Those three are innate, what women are looking for. A man who can survive. What good is it if he can't survive? She ain't no good here, huh? You know, what woman picks up a man standing on the corner, she riding past him? You know, if he can't do nothing for her, so he can't survive. And that's the way I'm just putting it in those terms. If he doesn't provide, what good is he? Now, you got a lot of women be with men that will not provide. Go figure. And so then you have the last piece, the one that has guidance. A woman can have a man that he provides and he can survive and he provide, but he doesn't have guidance. She'll be getting guidance from someone else. And so the point is that she'll stay with them. She'll stay with them too. The guidance part would be last. That's why I named it last. And so if those three things are innate that she looks for, those three things is what we are supposed to represent. You're right, Queen Bee. You're supposed to feel comfort, the feeling that you had when you was with your father and how he made you feel. Those things, that means you know what? That means you had high principle, because you learned that from being, raised by your father. That's why you were married. And you probably wouldn't settle for less, right? So the point is that makes the value, raise the value of the woman. And listen to this. If every woman wouldn't have sex with a man that didn't have any potential, wasn't in college, I'm gonna tell you something, these young men will change, because they the hunters. They have to hunt, right? Unless they're turning gay, which a lot of things is happening now with that piece. But women can actually control the setting. If only they control and have discipline of not giving it up so easy, to where make a man prove something. Make a man prove that he wants to build a family with you. Make him buy your house. I bet you if women were making niggas buy houses, the black man would change, because he definitely want a woman, right? Or he has a high value. Even in Islam, they say that there was a thing called dower. I think in all religions have something the man must give. There's one faith in Africa where one man asked for the young man, the father asked for the young man to pick enough peanuts from the peanut farm to feed the whole family. What was that? What does that mean? It's a symbol that your ass is willing to get out there and work and make it happen. And I think that's what's missing. I think that it's became too easy. Men ain't got to do nothing for it anymore. And it's just free. And that's why you see a lot of loose kids with no fathers. And how do you bring it back? I don't know. It's a very good, interesting piece with where we're going with the music and the shaking your booties, and then the men that have no discipline, that are just doing the hunting, but they don't know what they're hunting for, and they just putting their seed in everything comes along. And that will continue. If that continues, there is no coming out of that. How do you come out of that? You're breeding a ground of more people that are going to be unable to make it out.
Hey, John, I want to thank you for we get into the closing here, but you caused me to have to now, Queen Bee, unfortunately, you're the only female up here. So I'm going to ask you this question. I'm not picking on you, okay? But you're the only female on this panel right now. And I have asked this question, and I'm going to ask you the question, and I'm going to see how you answer it. Are you ready, Queen Bee? Can I ask, but first of all, I'm going to ask you permission. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. So here it comes. What's the most valuable thing about you?
The most valuable thing about me, I would say, is my faith, my relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's a
I
good,
would
I
say
mean,
my
that's your answer.
relationship with Christ.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, I was taught this by a very, very gangster brother who was also very spiritual. And he said, and he was a pimp. Okay. That's what he said. He said the most valuable thing that a woman has is her body. If what you really don't understand, and I had this experience, when a woman, when you have a woman who's not been touched, and she's compliment that she pays to a young male, is when she's willing to unrobe before you. Your pain, this guy told me every time, this guy used to say, having a woman unrobe, she willing to become naked before you. Okay. A woman doesn't realize that she take for granted the most powerful thing she has, the most cherishable thing she has is her body.
Well, you know what, Bashad, if you'd have asked me that like 20 years ago, that probably would have been. I'm an old woman now. Shit,
I know. But you see where I'm going with that, right? You see,
yes, I do.
imagine.
It can be used. It can be used as a weapon. Absolutely.
It's the most
It can
powerful.
be used. It can be used for discipline. Oh yeah, it can be used.
That's what and he was this is why this guy was a pimp. He said, he was telling me this. He says, when you get these Johns, okay, not you, John, by name, you know what I mean, John. You get these Johns and these guys who come in, and he teach the women, the women or the prostitute, to tell them to sit on the bed and watch them unrobe before them. He says, having a woman that learn how to unrobe for a man, usually, if she does it right, he all over himself before he ain't get anything going. If the woman knows how to seductively unrobe herself before a man. That's why he says the most powerful thing that a woman has is her ability, is her body, and learning how to unrobe herself before a man. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
and not just giving it away. That's the thing.
that's
Yeah, it's
definitely.
sacred, and it's like it's a very sacred thing. But people don't. Yeah, nowadays they just don't see it that way.
Yeah, nowadays they ain't gonna happen just because, and I definitely see what you're saying, but all the Jewish porn hub and everything else that then came into the messed all that up. Ain't nobody messing on themselves with
You
watching
can't
somebody
you can't
undress. You know what I
escape.
mean?
You can't escape none of that stuff. You turn the
You,
television on and
well, I'm just saying because what Unc was saying is that the hoes basically they could get away from having to even do much
much.
intercourse with or much work with the
yeah, I got it.
Johns
I
because
got it.
they
Yeah.
so now but nowadays we are so hypersexual as society.
But I'm also don't take it to. I'm trying to show the innocence that a woman has.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about
Women used to understand that though.
you're
There
right.
used to
That's
be a
what
movement where women understood, what did Method Man say? That good power you?
yeah, good power you.
There used to be a movement on that. And we've just gotten so far away from it and just learned how to point fingers so well that all the people from that day and age is all wrong.
Yeah.
You know something?
Everybody.
I'm gonna tell you something about me. So, because I know you're not supposed to blame people for stuff, but I blame liberal white women for the condition that we're in now.
You need to read my book. I got a chapter right there.
Yeah, because I know
Kings
because
and
again,
queens.
goes back to
You
the boomers, which my mother was. I'm like, what the heck, But it's like, yeah, it's like we were so
what you
wanting to be
said,
feminists, and and this whole movement. So yeah,
but
I see
Queen B,
where
I'm gonna
it's.
give you something. Hold up. I'm gonna get you to narrow that conversation. What you said. Not just any liberal women, Jewish women. Their culture control their men. Do you know that? You look at all the movies today, cut.
Oh,
But I know
Well,
just
this.
they
like we
running
said the other
things.
day,
They
they had
running
to
things.
come
That's
in
for
order to
I
be
sure.
had
Jewish.
Jewish male
It,
friends that told me their mothers, their grandmothers, they pick the woman, and those women are kept a certain lifestyle. Okay, they run their Jewish community. Y'all need,
The Jewish women been out of order for like 2,000 plus years.
yeah, they are some dominant. Listen, I work with them, and they listen to them. I work with them in the medical field. Let me tell you something. Jewish women who knows the power of the color construct, who operate within the color, because they know a white woman has power, major power, and they uses it in the that's why I got it in Kings and Queen in my book. I actually hint to him. And I was going to actually write more about it, but my ghostwriter told me, because I actually had it all written out, what you just said, but I didn't leave it to the liberal woman. I went straight to Jewish women because of their culture and everything. But my ghostwriter told me, no, me, Sean, and I'm glad I did. He said, no, don't put that in there. You need to leave that out. Let that be a conversation that you have without it being in the book. I say, okay. And so when I heard you say that, if you get my book, you will read Kings and Queen, you're gonna see where I'm hinting about what you just said.
Yeah, it's a fact. It's a
Yeah.
fact. It
It's a
is
fact.
And
Oh
that
no,
definitely a
makes
it's a
sense.
fact.
fact.
And that makes
Hmm.
sense because remember yesterday I brought up the thing about Barry Goldwater, presidential elect,
Right.
being
Mm-hmm.
responsible as a Jew, being responsible for helping to push a lot of the freedmen Americans back over to the plantation
Right.
of the Democratic Party because he came in saying he was a Republican, but he
Right.
came in saying gay is okay and abortions are okay with all this progressive ideology representing Republican. And instead of us looking at the man, we looked at the party and we bounced because
Uh-huh.
those were not ideals that we were into. And he was
Because we
and
didn't
on
know what we
top of
didn't
all
know.
of that, he denounced the civil rights movement. So, it was like, nah,
It's
it's
because
over.
we did not know what we didn't know.
Absolutely.
About it.
Absolutely.
And go ahead, brother. And where's Carl? Carl been quiet. Is he there?
I think I think he got kicked off or something. I don't know. I think you there, Carl? Yeah, I think he's off.
Okay. Well, go
But
ahead and give
it's
it.
that
Let
time
somebody want to say anything. Yeah,
'cause we about to
John
go.
and Queen Bee, y'all. Let me tell you. Let me just go ahead. This is my submission. Y'all today, y'all. You see how much, man. Y'all done came out to free your mind and your ass will follow. And you all got that out of me tonight. And then Queen Bee, you came on and got me out talking about that Jewish stuff, boy. We got there's a lot of recording here today, bro. Woo, love. We talked. We dropped some
Hey,
stuff tonight.
time to go.
It's time to go.
So
All
with that
right.
being said, any last words, real quick?
Good space. Good conversation.
Awesome, awesome. Anybody else? Last words? All good, all good. I just want to say thank you, everybody. I see people pop their heads in, pop out. I see some people watching on Facebook, watching on Instagram and YouTube as well. So appreciate that. And we're here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. We try to shut it down about 9. Sometimes it goes over, but we try not to be here for 3, 4, and 5 hours like some people on this space. We are starting the space here on X, and it does stream out to those other spaces on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram live simultaneously. So we appreciate the support. It's just good conversation. This I Ain't Your Black show is based off of the book I'm Not Your Black America. I'm not your black, comma, America. All right. So specifically important is the your and the comma. All right. Let you know who you're talking to and what specifically when you're talking to that person or those people who you're not. All right. With that being said, again, we will see y'all Tuesday, 7 p.m. This is the I'm Not Your Black show. I ain't your black. This is Mr. Just As Joe's and Uncle Me Sean. It's a podcast that offers healing insights and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. We'll see y'all Tuesday, 7 p.m. Peace.
Get ready for I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. And now, the host of I Ain't Your Black, Mr. Just As Joe and Uncle Me Sean.
Man, you love causing trouble.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other.
When black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough